There once was a princess who lived in a faraway tower. The princess was young and beautiful. The princess had everything she wanted. She was even guarded by a fierce dragon. But she had spent her entire life waiting to be rescued by a brave prince that would have the courage to face the dragon. Only then could she leave the tower and discover a new world with her strong mate. But many years passed, and the princess was tired of waiting. The year was The year was 2020. The princess was not trapped in a faraway tower. Oh, no, 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 queridos. Where she lived, she was never surrounded by cowards. It seemed like many even had superpowers. You could see so much talent in less than an hour. The block had some of the best football players you'll ever see. Award-winning dance competitors rehearsed on the street. At the park trained the dopest MCs you'll ever meet. And ooh, the raspados on the corner. Yeah, they tasted pretty sweet. The princess did not have everything that a princess would have. She still had to do chores and even split her meals in half. And yeah, she had joy, gratitude, and blah blah, but do not speak on her behalf if you come from another class. The princess still had resources she lacked, yet her imagination came heavily packed. The princess was taken care of by a fierce and hard-working dragon, who just to make ends meet always had to bargain. The dragon raised the princess all alone, was never thrown a bone. It was tough, but she never let it be shown, never even groaned. The dragon worked 3 jobs, but always had eyes on the princess, no matter where she was. There was the dragon, ready to battle anyone that would try to trespass. She didn't even need to spit fire before she opened her mouth. Boom, a dispatch. But to the dragon, no one was ever good enough for the princess. Trust me, I insist. I can show you a list of all the friends the dragon dismissed. And the princess wouldn't resist. If I let you in on a secret, there was already someone whom the princess had kissed. But before we get all goofy, this is not a story of romance. The year was 2020. Like 2020 vision, time came and suddenly time split. A virus hit and quarantine came to sit. While everyone fought over toilet paper, below the equator the fear spread greater. Desperation on the horizon, everyone with tapabocas and Lysol. Medicine prices grew, but the dragon was wiser. She had her own remedies, her ancestors advised her. On the news, they announced everything had to freeze. Schools closed down and jobs had no guarantees. This was an era no one had seen. It was like a zombie screen on the scene. And although the princess was scared, day 1 in quarantine was like a vacation. Imagining a new vision, no school meant she could make her own decision. Let's play video games and cook with dragon's flames. Let's learn to knit, practice our wit, and make paper cranes. We could freestyle on a beat or two, or paint a picture on an old shoe. But remember not to go ha-choo! By day 10, the teachers and the students took classes on Zoom, and the princess now had too much homework to consume. Uploading her assignments online with slow Wi-Fi, it felt like everything was a gloom. New laws passed, and no one was allowed on the streets. It was so the virus curve would decrease, but this is where rules and necessities meet. The dragon lived day by day, squeezed her paycheck so the rent could be paid. And while the dragon hid above the clouds on her commute to work, the princess stayed at home alone even until dark. And to pass the time, she sang songs her mind would spark. Time passed, and suddenly there was no time. No days, no nights, not even holidays or birthday invites. The dragon grew tired and grew sick. But not because the virus had stuck or stacked, but because the dragon was not eating, so the princess did not lack. And since in her block all the neighbors would talk, they studied each other like a hawk. Someone caught the dragon sneaking out before the sunrise, and to no surprise, child services came to ask if the prince's health was compromised. After all, the dragon was the guardian of a child under age, but the dragon and the princess put on a brave face. The princess even served more food than usual on their plates, and the two were left alone by spiritual grace. One morning, the dragon was too tired to fly to her job. The dragon was so weak that the princess even feared she could get robbed. So the princess said,
"Let me go and get the bread. You stay here and rest your head."
And the dragon said,
"My only purpose in life is to protect you. I can't let you go. Besides, you have a curfew."
"I could disguise myself as an adult, and at your job I could consult."
"I can't let you go. I want to see you grow. If something happened to you, I lose my glow."
"But I'm old enough to defend myself."
"But not old enough to think for yourself. You give me purpose, and without you, I feel worthless."
"But in giving you purpose, I lose my choices. Can't you see I have many voices? Trust me, dragon, I also want to take care of you. In my dreams, I even see you eating oysters."
And the princess got ready, put on her face mask, and packed a small bag of cherries. The dragon got in between the princess and the door, even made a mean face like she was ready to roar. And time walked back, second by second on the rack.
"What do you know about love?"
said the princess. The dragon stood quiet.
"What do you know about freedom?"
asked the princess. The dragon responded,
"All I know is that taking care of you frees me from the responsibility of thinking what else is there to do."
"I can see that. But I'm older now and see things from another view. You fear losing me, and I fear losing myself in you. Depending on you and shutting my mind from thinking what is it that I need to pursue. Right now we got bills to pay if we want to stay. Please, dragon, move out the way so I can make this okay."
All my life I've protected you, battled every person who thinks they've come to rescue you, just to see if they were brave enough to face my flames, someone with fire in their veins.
"And don't you see that I am my own warrior who got brains? I'm ready to work for us,"
she explains.
"I am the one that's come to rescue me. I love you even if in this we disagree."
And the princess went on her way. The dragon battled her to stay. The princess wondered if she should obey. In the midst of a pandemic, this was their first fight. The princess became her own knight. I think deep down the dragon questioned her own might. And so goes the story of the guardian and the princess, who now was feeling grown. Their relationship I don't condone. Let's look at our reflection. Can we see that maybe there's a version of a dragon and a princess in many homes? Maybe the moral of this story is that fear and faith cannot live in the same zone.